This is True Transformative Fitness, and welcome to my intelligent upper body workout. Why I say intelligent? First of all, we hitting chest, shoulders, and back in this particular workout. We're going for hypertrophy, meaning that we're looking to build muscle and keep that strength on us. The plan is we're gonna superset chest with shoulders. And in doing that, we're gonna mix a pressing movement with a fly movement. So, for instance, as you see, I'm warming up with the bench. That's the pressing movement, and then we're gonna do some standing lateral raises with a pair of dumbbells, and that'll be the fly movement for this particular superset. You rarely want to pair two pressing movements in the superset. It's almost redundant, and you're pretty much using the same muscles. Let me illustrate that for you. If we paired bench press with the shoulder press, that's a no-no. You can do it, but you're gonna have a decrease in performance. And I mean, depending on how heavy and what technique you're using, you're risking injury. So you want to pair uh, a superset with a movement hitting the muscle from a different angle. And the style we're gonna go with the pressing movement, we're gonna do a set, add weight, do a set, add more weight. It's minimal rest between sets. And with the fly movement, we're going to keep the weight the same. All right. We're not going for any repetitions, but no specific reps, but I'm not going to blow my load on the first set or what so have you. So we're just going for feel. When I start feeling that burn, you know what I mean? Then I'm gonna probably squeeze two more sets out of it, and then I'm gonna add weight and then move on. All right, so here's the first set. You always want to line your hands up, find the lines and the grooves in the bar and see what movement is comfortable for you. So I retracted my scapula, so my back is plastered to the bench, and I'm staying in that sweet spot where I'm not locking at the top of the movement. However, I'm bringing it down to where I feel tension and a stretch, and I'm bringing it back over and over again till I feel my upper chest. And mind you, this bench is at an incline. I mostly do most of my pressing movements as far as chest on an incline because you want that shelf look. You know what I mean? You want your chest to look full, so we want to focus on the upper chest. All right. So those were clean repetitions. So now we're gonna do some standing flies to hit the shoulders. And doing it like this, we're keeping our heart rate up. So we're exciting our metabolism, but we're also getting that blood flow in the chest and the shoulders. Because we're gonna do about let me see, three different movements for the chest and three different movements for the shoulders. And I did this video, the video yesterday, and today I'm doing a voiceover. And let me tell you, I'm feeling every muscle fiber in my body that was targeted. My chest is sore, my shoulders are definitely sore, and my back is blazed. You hear me? My back is done. Like if I stretch out, I could just feel every muscle that I targeted. So you see I'm adding 20 pounds, 10 on each side, and we're gonna stick with the same rhythm. Bringing a bar, retracting my scapula, make sure my chest is pointed towards the ceiling, and making sure my upper back is plastered to the bench, so there's no wiggle and jiggle. And we're targeting the shoulders, so you want to expose your chest to all that tension. Lining the bar up again, and then I'm controlling the descent, meaning that when the bar is coming towards me, I'm controlling it, and then we're pushing up with fairly nice force. All right, keeping them nice and smooth. Right, every repetition should look the same. Going for that feel in the muscle. I'm not counting the repetitions. Again, this is bodybuilding. Yeah, I could pile a whole bunch of weight on the bar and move it, but I'm going for aesthetics. I'm going for look. I'm going for filling up the muscle tissue. I'm going for like I say, aesthetics covers all that. So now we're going back to the flies. I believe the flies I did stick to, like, I don't know, between 10 and 15 reps. Whenever you do a fly movement, you want to stick to fairly high repetitions between 10 and 5, because it's not a power movement. You know what I mean? Think about it. When you're pressing, you do want tension, an honest amount of tension to press up against. But when you're flying, you're really using that fly for the stretch and the top contraction movement, so it doesn't require a whole lot of weight if you're doing it correctly. Because if you're using too much weight on the fly, other muscles could take over. You know what I mean? Your back can get involved. It's hard to isolate the shoulders when you're using too much weight. You know what I mean? Think about it. On that particular side, the side delts, it's a small muscle group. Small muscle groups require lighter weight. Bigger muscle groups require bigger weights at time. Yeah, we still on that chest. I'm doing the gorilla chest. You know what I mean? Because that's what we trying to build, the gorilla chest here. All right, and we're doing 3 sets of everything. 3 sets of everything. When it comes to the chest and shoulders, when we get to back, we're just doing straight sets, and I'm explaining when we get to the back workout. That's going to be very interesting. So make sure you keep watching, because you're going to learn a thing or two, especially about how to build the back. All right, I believe this is the last set. Lining everything up, added another 20 pounds, so we upped it 40 pounds during this whole set. We're going to stick with the same cadence, controlling the bar coming down, exploding up, making sure we feeling that contraction in that chest. Because when you're supersetting, it taxes the body more, it stresses the body out more. You know what I mean? I don't use supersets every workout, but it's a good what am I trying to say? Oh yeah, it's a good advanced way to bring intensity to your workout if you haven't been doing supersets. All right, so we're going back to the fly movement now, filling everything out. So by the third set, I already have a pump. Okay, and what a pump is where you feel the blood in the actual targeted muscles. You know, it's an addictive feeling, to be honest with you, if you're doing it right. Yeah. And to get that pump feeling, you gotta have nutrients in your body. You gotta have carbs, you gotta have a little bit of fats, you know what I mean? And you definitely gotta be hydrated to get that feeling. Because listen, the muscle is mostly water. So you want to stay hydrated. All right. So we're done the first set, which was the incline bench press with the dumbbell flies. And now you saw we led off with the pressing movement, and then we went into the fly movement. So now we're gonna superset. We're still on chest and shoulders. All right. So I'm about to set up the next superset, which is gonna consist of a dumbbell pressing movement. So we're gonna lead off with the dumbbell pressing movement, and then we're gonna use this fly machine to hit the chest with the flies. You see how we did that? So again, just to backtrack, we did the incline with the barbell press, and we supersetted that with the dumbbell flies. The dumbbell flies hit the shoulders. Of course, the incline press, barbell press hit the chest, and now we're reversing it. We're starting the movement with the dumbbells, right? Here's the intelligent part, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're gonna bring in the fly movement on a machine as the second movement. So now we're prioritizing shoulders, and the secondary movement is going to be for the chest. So we're about to load this gun up with some ammo to move it around. Set the machine up for success. We're setting the machine up at its most stretched position, meaning that when my arms are like elongated the most, you should feel a stretch in your outer pec. If you don't feel a stretch, you need to set the machine back further so you can feel that stretch, because that's what's going to get us that big chest. And fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, most people think that the pressing movements build the chest the most. But if you look at EKG studies, you know, the chest has the most muscle activation during fly movements if you're doing them correctly. Meaning that if you're going in that stretch position and then you're coming out in that contractor position and there is no relaxation during the movement, you're staying with all attention, when most people abandon. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you want to be part of the few. So you want to stay where all that tension is at, so you can be guaranteed to get these gains. You know what I mean? Because listen, your body is a receipt of your work, man. Come on now. You know, if you've been working hard, your physique should show that. And that's what I'm about to show you. I'm pulling the engine up so you can see the engine parts work on this machine. All right. And this machine, of course, is me, metaphorically speaking. Okay, so you see the shoulders popping, chest popping. All right. So now we're gonna start with the pressing movement as promised and described earlier. Yep. Okay, I hit the machine, so I gotta move up so I get some clearance. One, and we getting the party started. All right. So again, we're going for movement, and after each, we're sticking to the DNA of this workout, meaning that after each pressing movement with the shoulders, we're gonna add weight, baby. We're gonna add what is that? 5 pounds? No, 10 pounds to each dumbbell after each set. But we're gonna keep the fly weight the same. All right. I'm not counting reps. I'm just going till I feel the lactic acid build up, squeeze out 2, 3 more reps, and then I'm gonna add weight so I can finish the set successfully. So now you see me, I'm milking the stretch movement, the stretch part, I'm sorry, of the fly. You can actually see the striations in my chest where it's stretched at on that outer part. You see what I mean? That's where the stretch at. Now I'm contracting it. You can see where my chest is separating from the upper part of my chest to the lower right there. And when it's coming back, yeah, milking this thing for all I got. All right, not even counting repetitions. I'm just going by feel. All right. So now I'm going to add some more weight to these dumbbells, and we're going to keep the party going. So going from a modestly heavy weight and keep adding on weight adds an enormous amount of intensity, because you're covering all your bases. You're covering strength, you're covering hypertrophy, and you're covering intensity for that matter. You know what I mean? You're stressing the body out to where it has to come out and come back stronger than before. Every workout, you're not going to have the energy to pull this off, but evidently I felt good this day, so I ran with the intensity on this one. Again, you always want to also have your Apple Watch going so you can record your workouts to hold you accountable, because it's about accountability. All right. Okay, so here we go. Back to the pressing movement. I'm gonna teach y'all how to build this body up, man. If y'all gonna follow, man, and execute. So we added more weight, and we going filler repetitions. I'm making sure I come all the way down to where them dumbbells touch my damn deltoids. You see that? And then I'm going up where the tension is at and coming right back down and starting over again. Increasing that range of motion like that when you're moving the object further, you know what I mean? It not only increases your flexibility, but it builds the muscle fully. You know what I mean? You're strong throughout the whole movement, not just at the bottom part or the top part. Almost like certain cars where they have top end speed, bottom speed. No, you're gonna have speed at the top, bottom, and mid. So here we go, stretching my pecs, flexing at the top, stretching, flexing. And that weight is staying suspended. That's behind me that you see moving up and down is never resting on a pin at all. I'm keeping it up, meaning that if it's in the air, I'm keeping that tension constant. And it's a painful thing, especially coming off them pressing movements. Yeah. I can't reiterate the fact of how sore my chest and back and shoulders are right now. So I'm adding more weight. And just to reiterate, this is the third set. Remember, we're doing 3 sets of everything, and we're moving on specifically on the chest and shoulders. And then we got one more movement after this, which is going to be an interesting one. Okay. And there's no redundancy. None. Okay, so we added another 10 pounds. That's 5 pounds on each side of those dumbbells. So we've upped it from the first set to this last, a total of, and I'm speaking each dumbbell. So we added 30 pounds each. Okay, 30 pounds each dumbbell. All right, and like I say, the most rest I'm doing is as long as it takes for me to change the weight and set my next set up. It's minimum rest. All right, that's why we're not pushing dumb super weights around, even though it's heavy. All right, but with minimum rest, we keeping our metabolism high, and we're gonna stay lean and mean at the same time. All right, so here we go. This is the heaviest set right here, and we're going through filling. I'm going until I'm going until I feel the lactic acid, but I'm also going to where I feel as though if the next rep, if my form breaks down, I stop the reps before that happens because we want to make every repetition look clean and worthy. You know, we don't want ugly reps where one side is going where they're not even going up because we're working ourselves bilaterally with those dumbbells. You want to control movement at all time. And we're going back to the stretch, contract. Stretch right there, contract. Stretch, contract. I'm not moving all fast. We're controlling it at a nice, honest pace. Yep. So that's that. So we're moving on. We're still on chest and we're still on shoulders, but we're moving on to the third superset. Because right now, we worked it from every angle. I'm just backtracking and just letting you know what we've done so far. We've done the incline bench. We supersetted that with dumbbell flies. We did 3 sets. Second set, we just did dumbbell presses with the machine flies. Now what you're looking at, I got the bench set of the incline again, but I actually have these 50-pound weight chains on the Smith machine. So while we're using the Smith machine, and it almost, oh man, but D, it looks redundant because you were on a bench. Okay, well look, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, the chains when the weight is being lowered to my chest is getting lighter, but then when I explode up against those chains, the weight is going to get heavier, so you get a different feel there. Second of all, we're taking the stabilizer muscles out of the movement because with us using the Smith machine is stabilizing the bar. So I'm just really focused on pressing my chest against the resistance. So it's a total different feels, total different stimulation. So again, no redundancy. And then what we're gonna do, we're going to change the weight. Like I say, like I promise you, in every pressing movement, we were adding weight after each set. We started off fairly heavy, and then we're adding on weight after that. But we're going to keep the fly movement the same. But this isn't a fly movement. We're going to grab the 80-pound dumbbells and we're going to do shrugs. Okay, so we're going to prioritize the pressing movement. We're back to prioritizing chest first, because remember the first movement on the bench press, the incline bench press, we started with the chest and he went to the flies. The second one, we started with the chest press, then we ended with the chest flies. Now we're back to starting with the incline press for the chest at an incline. That's why my chest is built like that in the upper part, because that's all I've been doing the past 2 years. I rarely do flat movements, yo, here and there. but mostly I'll be hitting that upper chest, man. And I'm trying to tell you, it gives the illusion your chest is really bigger than what it is, even though I do got a big chest in reality. But it gives you that finishing look. And you'll see when it's contracting up against this Smith machine. So I'm gonna line everything up, retract my scapula, making sure my chest is pointing towards the ceiling, and I'm making sure nothing else is moving, locking everything in, bringing my shoulders back. So you can really see it because I had my shirt on with the bench press, but now with this, when I bring the bar down, you're gonna see it retracted right there, bringing it to my chest, bringing it all the way out. Two, I'm about to count out like I'm training. Training myself virtually. But listen, we're going for feel where I feel a stretch to my chest and we're pumping it out. And the sweet thing with the Smith machine, you can squeeze out more reps than you would had if I just had a free weighted bar on my chest. You know what I mean? Because if I fail, I could just latch it. Okay. So now we're gonna do some shoulder shrugs. Remember we did flies? Pressing movement for the shoulders. Now we hitting them from another angle. Look at that. Look at them traps exploding. Exploding right in your face right there, man. This is bodybuilding. This is sculpting. I'm literally sculpting my body right before you. You see what I mean? This is what it takes. And I'm going by feel. Just using my shoulders, keeping my arms straight, making sure I'm making my shoulders bring those heavy dumbbells up. So now I'm going to add more weight to the Smith machine. We're going to add 10 pounds on each side, so we're adding 20. And it's minimum rest. We're sticking to the DNA of this workout where we have minimum rest, keeping our heart rate up, making it challenging because the weight feels. Listen, if you were powerlifting or strength training, if that's your focus, then yes, you want to rest 2 to 3 minutes between sets because then you're fully recovered. But right now, we're trying to break down the shoulders and chest, so we need minimum rest as possible. And sometimes when you're trying to, build your body aesthetically, you have to actually check your ego at the door when it comes to weight. You know what I mean? You got to be okay with lifting moderate weight, but just really focusing on a stretch and a contraction. You know what I mean? Not only that will it give you a more aesthetic look, but it'll also keep your joints and tendons healthy and keep you away injury free. This style of training, if you're doing it right, if you listen to my videos and listen to all my cadences, etc., yeah, you'll do this injury free. You won't have to go through the injuries that I had to go through the years and years and years of training. You know what I mean? you know. But I've been injury free for a long time. Your boy 46, about to be 47, man. It's cool though, man, because we're gonna age gracefully, man. I'm gonna give up the game. I'm gonna give up all this game on how to age gracefully, bringing it back to my chest, keeping that scapula retracted, and making sure I'm getting a full range against this heavier weight. You see the chains making it light, now it's heavier. Making it light, now it's heavier. All right. And remember, we're doing this is a high volume worth of work that we're doing so far. So now we're gonna pick up these 80s. We're gonna do some shrugs until I can't get a good form shrug. That's when we stop. We're not counting repetitions. Yeah, sculpting my body before your eyes, getting a good pump, and we moving on. We got one more set to go. 3 sets. That's what this calls for. And I'm only resting as long as it takes to change this weight, baby. Then we getting right back to work. And so we're gonna squeeze as many reps out with this last one, and then we're gonna move on to back. And mind you, you do want to stay tuned for this back workout. You're gonna learn something. and it's gonna motivate you too to build that cobra back. So we setting everything up for this final set, getting my mind right, but not too long. And if you see those grips on there, I got those grips on there on purpose because we want to build our forearms up too, so it's making a bar fatter than what it normally would be. So it's harder for me to grip the bar, so that's working our forearms too. So we got to make it intense, no matter what. Yeah, working against that upper chest, squeezing them out. Right now, we in the trenches now. Yep, that was good work. Yeah, the reps are decreasing because your boy is done. Okay. Okay. We're at the psychological part of the workout where I'm tired, but we're not quitting. We're gonna keep it going, man. Look at the veins shooting through the shoulders, man, because we working so hard. So now we know for a fact that the shoulders and chest is fried now. We can't cook them no more. We don't want to overcook them. Okay. So now we're done with them. We're done with them. I'm gonna take you over to the back station. Back, BACK. We're going to tear that back up from a multitude of angles. The back is one of the most complex muscle groups on the human body to develop. You know what I mean? If you build it right, you want to build it wide up top, and you want it tethering down to a narrow way, so you have that V taper look. So I'm waiting to set everything up. I'm about to move y'all to the other side. And I can't stop reiterating how sore I am. So if someone is brave enough to mimic this workout, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I won't repeat this workout for a while. I'll move on to something else. But look, I'm gonna keep releasing some of my personal workouts. A lot of people have been asking me about. I haven't been recording some of my personal workouts because they know they're going on. But the only thing about recording, it takes away from the intensity a little bit because you're setting up the camera. I'm not in the moment, and et cetera, et cetera. But this is a peek in. But when the camera isn't on, oh man, it's animalistic. And I I have an opponent, which is Father Time. So we're trying to fight Father Time and stay as youthful as possible. That's what this whole movement, this fitness movement, is about, man. Aging gracefully and being able to be self-sufficient until our last day, not needing a caretaker. You know what I mean? Someone there to, for basic functions. Like, we want to be wiping our own tail and get up off the toilet without help our whole life. You know what I mean? That's personal. That's why we gotta keep them legs strong. And so look, what I'm showing you now is the back attachments. We're gonna run it from that top one to the bottom, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and the next one. All of them at different angles. And if you look at the handles, it takes the thumb out of the movement where we're using all back. We're doing one set each, but we're keeping the weight the same. Just like anything else that you're gonna build intelligently. We're gonna start off with the widest handle, and then we're gonna work our way back to the lower part of the back. Doing one set each, not counting the repetitions, going for feel. Okay, we're going for stretch and feel. So I'm going to retrieve the wide attachment, and we're sticking to the DNA once again, to where we're only resting as far as it takes for me to change the attachment, and then we're getting right back to work because we want to keep intensity high, and we want to cause hypertrophy, because again, it's hard to build the back. That's why you got to really stretch it and bring and when you get to that contractor part, bring the bar to us, flex our back, let it out slow, stretch it, bring it back to us with force, and then stretch the bar out. Now I'm showing you the handle I was telling you about, how it's taking the thumbs out. You see that? You see that? That's the contractor part where it's touching us, where the back's going to be contracting. Okay, so I'm setting everything up. We about to get to work, getting that her out of the way so you can see the engine parts working in that back. All right. Mind you, the lighting is pretty poor right here. The back looks even more impressive than what you about to see, for real, for real. But y'all know, go back to one of my last videos, the one where I was flexing all my muscles in Gold's Gym. You'll see that back. Stretching it out, bringing it to a touch our chest. And we want that top part of stretching. You can see the lat stretching for dear life at the top of that. And we're gonna go for feel to where I feel our form is about to break down, and that bar isn't going to touch us anymore. That's when we're gonna stop the repetition and move on to the next attachment. And the attachments are getting narrower and narrower, and the grips are slightly changing with each change of attachment. The hand grips are slightly changing. Some are going underhanded, some are overhanded, some are to the side. You'll see. So this one right here is underhanded. You see that? You grab it, it's like underhand. Hitting it back from the different multitude of angles. And we're going to stick with that same cadence. We'll be stretching at the top, bringing the bar to us and letting it out slow. See that? We're not just letting gravity do the work. We're working against gravity. Yeah. You can see my back is contracting differently. So we squeezing this one out, stretching and contracting. And when I feel as though I can't do an honest repetition, that's when we end the set and we move on to the next attachment. Minimum rest, minimum rest, and keeping the intensity high and keeping the weight the same. We got almost, yeah, that's about 100 pounds on there. 45s, and I think it's what, a little over 100, and it's 10s on there as well. See that attachment? That's the contractor part, stretching, and that's the contract. I just demonstrated that for you. Setting the next attachment up. And I want you to take note on how my back looks different when we go through the set with each change of attachment. That's what I mean by getting you full body development. This is bodybuilding. This is intimate bodybuilding knowledge that I'm sharing with you. Okay? Getting that stretch part and bringing it in. And listen, with this tool, I was able to stretch more with the other ones I used previously. With this one, I can only stretch out to a certain point. Excuse me. So now we switching the attachment up yet again. I think it's what, 8 of them. So we're doing 8 to 9 reps. I mean 8 to 9 sets. No, one of my back. So there's another one. This is another underhanded one, but it's hitting it in a more narrow way than the previous bars. Minimum rest, not counting repetitions, but going for the stretch and bringing the bar to our chest. And when we can't perform that anymore, we just end it. It's that simple. Yeah, blowing them lats up. I don't know what set we're on, but I'm definitely feeling it. But we still moving the weight the same. So when we get to the narrower attachments, we're gonna do one set upper back with the narrow attachments, and then I believe it's like three of them, and then we're gonna go to the low pulley, and then we're gonna be pulling. We're gonna be doing rolls to our core. Okay, so this is the first set I'm demonstrating to you: the stretch, and then the contractor part of that. So as promised, we're gonna do a set with the upper back with the narrow attachment. Then we're gonna take that same attachment, put it to the low pulley, and we're gonna start hitting that lower back. Because my upper back and lats is pretty much fried at this point. So we about to set everything up so we can stick to the plan as far as the stretch and the contraction. Yes, I'm gonna keep saying that because some people shortchange themselves when they working their back, where they don't get to that top part and the bar doesn't touch them, and then they wonder why their back is shallow. You see how my back is contracting different now because we're using a narrow object now. Yeah, stretching and contracting this, and I believe I'm gonna have to change the weight around after this set. Look, no ego. We're gonna. I believe I'm gonna take these 45s off, and we're gonna replace the 45 with 25s on the side. Naturally, your upper back is stronger than the lower back. I mean, you got more muscles in your upper back than you do in your lower back. So we about to have the weight match the muscle stimulation that we trying to hit. So we're gonna take that detachment we just used, pull it on a low pulley, and we're gonna lighten that weight up because we're hitting the lower part of our back, which needs lighter weight. So you want the tool to match the job, okay? You want the tool to match the job. If I had to illustrate that, meaning that you're not gonna use a sledgehammer when it just takes a Phillips head screwdriver to complete the job. So now we're gonna roll this to our core, stretch it out, roll into our core, stretching it out. Seeing that lower back work, total back development, going at all angles. And mind you, even though all the narrow attachments look the same in width, but the hand position changes everything. You see how this one is underhanded, and we were rolling it to us like underhanded. And mind you, those hand positions make a world of difference with the muscle feel and development. You see, this one is to the side. The other one was underhanded. I'm sorry. And see, the grips are to the side on this one. We're gonna do the same movement, low pulley, stretching it out to where the pulley is out, but the weight is gonna stay suspended the whole time. All right, and then we're gonna roll to our core, and we stop when we can't get an honest, when we can't stretch it all the way out and bring it to our core. Then we end the set and move on to the next attachment. We're not wasting time here. I'm stretching my lats out, showing you my width, stretching it out, getting that set going. Back is on fire. Do you hear me? Making sure we squeezing everything out of this workout. So that's the second set. So yeah, we move into the third narrow attachment, and I'm gonna show you the different grip on this one as well. And working out like this, not doing the same set after set with the same tool, it keeps you excited about getting to the next set. So this one, okay, you see how the grips are on this one, okay? And I'm demonstrating the movement because you can't see it from all angles. So I'm just demonstrating it for you. Okay, we setting ourselves up for success. And then we got one more surprise back movement tool that we're gonna use on the low pulley. I'm gonna explain why we're gonna use that one as well. It's gonna be quite interesting in that one. So we're doing minimal rest. I better get my tail back in the frame and get back to work because this is minimal rest. Okay, yeah, there I go. Get back to work, dude. All right, so stretching it out at the pulley. See that weight come up? Keeping it suspended the whole time. Making sure we finish off that lower back to keep everything tight and right. And then we're gonna get this rope attachment. So what this rope attachment is gonna do, when we use the previous objects on the low pulley, we were stopping at the core. The object was coming to my core and stopping there. Okay. So the benefit of using this rope is that the rope is going to go around us. It's going to go past where my core would have stopped at. It's going to go past that, and we're going to get a deeper contraction at our lats, like I'm showing you here. You see, I'm pulling it to me and I'm breaking it apart. You get that much more range of motion with the low pulley movement with this one. So we're going to finish off our back with this one. But we're going to do, I believe I do 2 sets with this one just to really feel it. And matter of fact, I'm lightening the weight even more because I really want to feel that stretch when I pull that rope apart. I really want to feel that contraction in my back. Okay. So you're gonna see the different contraction when we go through the movement. And when I do this set, I'm sticking with the DNA. Like I rest maybe about 15 seconds and I get right back to it. And then we're done. Because this workout is coming to an end. See, I'm stretching it out, bringing my elbows all the way back, breaking that rope apart, uh, trying to bring it to my core, but the contraction is so deep and that it's getting inside the muscle where I can't bring it all the way in, right? And our back is already fatigued. So we still running with it. I did it till it burnt. I rested for a couple of seconds, like I told y'all. Get myself together. Yep, that's about 10 seconds of rest. I lied. Sorry about that. I said 15, it was 10 seconds. Getting right back to it. Pushing through it. See that back screaming and working? All right, that's it. And I'm stretching my back out so you can kind of see. But I know the light sucks right there, so I gave up. Done.